Breaking down all 25 things you missed from Survivor Season 44, Episode 9. We're talking all things Carolyn's amazing edit, Heidi finding the idol, Frannie versus Danny, camp life moments, and much more. Careful for any spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet, and make sure to stick around as we announce last week's puzzle giveaway winner. If you want to enter next week's giveaway, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let me know in the comments below your winner pick with only 8 players left in the game. Let's get started with number 25, Danny recaps Tribal. Obviously, last Tribal Council was a highlight of the season so far for me. We had Danny play the idol for Frannie, in the process blindsiding Brandon and having all 3 tribes on the same playing field now. That's right, we got 3 Soka players, 3 Ratu players, and 3 Tikka players left in the game. For how the game's shaking up, I'm thinking whoever makes the first move on the Tikka tribe is gonna end up winning the game. Or you know, a Tikka player is just gonna win the game anyway. Number 24, Lauren splitting the vote. Interestingly enough, Lauren and Jamie said that last episode they all wanted to split the votes. It just didn't really end up working out, which kind of sucks for that Ratu alliance, because if they did split the vote, it would have saved Brandon last episode. Now, take exit interviews with a grain of salt. Players can say whatever they want during those exit interviews, but during Brandon's exit interview, he said he wanted to split the votes, it's just other people weren't down. During the episode when Lauren and Jamie were talking about splitting the votes, Brandon tweeted this out, but then later deleted it. Anyways, let's just roll the clip of that exit interview.
I thought we said that we were going to split the votes on Danny and Frannie, so I didn't think it would really make that big of a difference. In our head, it was like, all right, one of them is probably going to play the idol. It's just a matter of who it is and do we have a plan in case they do.
Number 23, Jam playing hard. I said during last week's recap, it was so smart how the Tikka players navigated the vote in Tribal Council. It was pure genius having Jam and Carson vote for Frannie, so the Orange Tribe still thinks they're with them. And a little bit of foreshadowing that we'll talk about later in the video, Jam has said anyone who ever votes for him, he's gotta send them home and out of the game. Obviously, being from Canada, Kane was my winner pick. I'm a little disappointed with what we're going to be talking about soon. Number 22, Kane is here to play. Honestly, my only complaints with this episode was kind of the rice negotiations. We don't need that, and the confusing Tribal Council. We'll get to all that later in the video. Kane is going to start the mad dash for the idol hunt here, as he's kind of woken up after his ally Brandon was voted out of the game. Number 21, Danny's idol hunt. Going into this episode and up until we saw who eventually was voted out, I was convinced it was gonna be Danny. As for starters, he made a big move playing an idol last night, and as well, he's a strong dude and a big competitor in all the challenges. But on top of that, all season, whenever an idol's played, the next time that player's able to be voted out, they have been voted out. Think about Brandon and Josh. They both play idols, and the next chance they have to be voted out, they are voted out. I do really like what Danny says here, how Survivor is a whole bunch of luck, but you gotta put the luck in your odds and be working hard. Number 20, all players idol hunt. Usually in Survivor episodes, you're gonna hear people say idol hunting and searching for the idols is super boring, which honestly, most of the time, I will agree with those people. We don't need to see this anymore. But usually what we see is one person scrambling around searching for the idol, and then boom, they find it. This idol hunt actually felt chaotic and super crazy with everyone scrambling around looking for it. Number 19, poor Jamie. The Survivor producers are gonna make fun of Jamie pretty bad here, as during a confessional, she's super excited about having a hidden immunity idol, only for no one in the game to actually know it's a fake idol. Technically not a negative moment from this episode, but overall the first big negative moment from Survivor Season 44 has been these fake idols. Think about it, this season we had the birdcage introduced for fake idols, and we had a bunch of people making fake idols throughout the season, only for it to all turn out to be disappointing. Number 18, Heidi finds the idol. All in all, just a big couple of episodes for Heidi, finding an advantage and then finding the hidden immunity idol here. The major part of finding this hidden immunity idol that I haven't seen many people talk about is it's not a beware advantage. So that means no needing to do anything special to activate this hidden immunity idol. It has full power right away. Number 17, Downtime. On Twitter, Rick Devins thinks off days give you the best moments of Survivor, and I gotta agree, this was a classic episode. I would need to look back a little further, but probably one of the best episodes in the new era overall. You gotta think to yourself, how is it possible to see all the players just hanging out and having a good time? That's because they programmed a rest day right here in the season, which usually is not possible with a 26-day Survivor season. If you look back to any of your favorite Survivor seasons, the best moments from those seasons probably come from Survivor off days. Number 16, players hanging out. A whole bunch of nothing in terms of Survivor gameplay and strategizing, but it's moments like this that highlight the social connections the players have built. We see all the players hanging out, playing some I Spy, comforting sick old Carson, and connecting really heavy with Carolyn. Number 15, Carolyn winner pick. This scene right here convinces me that either Carolyn's the winner of the season or the fallen angel of the season. For starters, we get a flashback diving into her addiction story, but it goes so much deeper than that. We see players like Frannie connect with Carolyn on a personal level. I have a feeling this friendship or this connection will be important for later in the game. Her true self, which may be a little bit on the crazy side, makes all the other players think she doesn't know what's going on. But trust me, she actually does know what's going on. She's playing the game hard. And it ends with an uplifting shot of her climbing a rock. This is your classic winner type scene right here. Number 14, thinking about food. Obviously, everyone's struggling. It's the new era of Survivor, the hardest seasons in Survivor history. Obviously, I'm joking. Don't flame me in the comments for saying that. Carson's a little guy. He hasn't eaten much food, and he's still feeling rough from last week's episode. Everyone's running on fumes right now, really needing some food, leading into number 13, tree mail. This is the classic rice negotiations we've seen every season in the new era of Survivor. Interestingly enough, Carson still wants to compete in the challenge even though he's feeling so rough. And I love Danny's idea that this being the season that the players refuse the rice negotiations with a final 9 as intense as this. Now, this is me obviously watching at home. I don't know what it actually feels like to starve out there on the island playing Survivor, but I feel like I would never sit out of a challenge. Number 12, challenge time. In the gross rain, it's time for the individual immunity challenge where the players gotta balance on one foot, holding up a ball, and the last person standing wins. Number 11, negotiation time. I still think this was done best the very first time it happened with Angelina from Survivor David versus Goliath. And I mean, it's not really a negotiation. Jeff just says we need 4 players. There's no back and forth with this negotiation here. Danny gives a scout's honor that he won't vote out for the players sitting out of the challenge. We'll definitely be talking about this later, as we see Carson, Lauren, Kane, and Heidi sit out for the rice. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy watching these rice negotiations, but I hope we drop them for Survivor 45. Number 10, the challenge. It might sound a little crazy, but watching this challenge, I wanted to be out there playing as well, being out there in the rain, pushing yourself as hard as you can. We get a showdown between Frannie and Danny for who's gonna win the challenge, as Danny gets a little pissed off after he loses. Number 9, Jeff tells us to apply. Once again, Jeff Probst tells us to apply for Survivor, and as most of you may know, I spend like all my free time making these Survivor videos. Sadly, this isn't my actual job. That's being a personal trainer and a swim coach. So if you're enjoying this video, please consider going to idleplays.com or the first link in the description. There you'll find replica Survivor challenges that I make for Survivor superfans, and really every purchase helps support me and the channel. As a special thank you this week, I'm going to be offering free shipping with any order containing the crate puzzle. Just make sure to include the code FREE at checkout. Once again, thank you for all the support you give me making these videos. Number 8, enjoying the rice. Kane's a little bit worried about sitting out for rice, as all 4 players that sat out of the challenge aren't actually safe tonight. I understand as a Survivor viewer being upset with the rice negotiations that take place every season, but I'm gonna be fully honest, I don't really understand why Danny's so against this. Think about it, he gets the chance to compete in the challenge, he almost won the challenge, and he still gets the rice anyway. Number 7, the first plan. Low key, it's the same story every single week. I'm ready for the downfall of the Tikka tribe, as they're in the middle between the Soka and Ratu alliance. If they decide to target the Ratu alliance, their plan is to number 1, put the majority of the votes on Kane, number 2, split the vote between Kane and Jamie, and number 3, go up to Jamie and tell her the plan is to vote her out so she plays her idol. Number 6, the second plan. A little more on the simpler side, if the Tikka alliance decides to work with Ratu and target a Soka member, then they're gonna decide to split the votes between Danny and Heidi. Number 5, knowledge is power. The knowledge is power advantage has truly changed Survivor forever, as even though it's not in the game right now, all the players are playing around it just in case. We're gonna see the good old advantage shuffle, as number 1, Lauren gives her extra vote to Jamie, and number 2, Jamie gives her idol to Kane. Well, everyone watching at home, we know it's a fake idol, but the players in the game, they think it's a real idol. Ultimately, I don't think this is is gonna turn into a Jesse situation from Survivor 43. Number 4, Tikka is the threats. I love Frannie's thought process here. She clues into the fact that the Tikka alliance is kind of controlling the entire game. She goes up to Danny with the plan of taking a Tikka member out. Although Frannie has the right idea to make a move on Tikka, I also think Danny is right that it's way too early. I think the best bet is to target the Tikka alliance at the final 7 and not at the final 9. Number 3, Tikka decides the vote. Ultimately, Jam Jam wants Kane voted out because Kane voted for Jam Jam at a previous tribal council. We all know what happens at tribal council. Jam Jam's gonna get his way, but I didn't see that coming. Going into tribal council, I seriously thought Danny was gonna be the one voted out. Number 2, tribal council. We gotta give the producers a round of applause for giving subtitles during the live tribal council with all the whispering going on. And so, like, I don't want to be the guy to say it, but the new era of Survivor is super weird. During the pre-merge of the season, we saw 4 straight women voted out of the game, but now that the tribes are together, we've seen 4 straight dudes voted out of the game. The early game is unfair for the girls, but the late game's unfair for the boys as number 1 Kane voted out. And with that, we've seen 5 fake idols this season, and none of them ended up getting played at a tribal council. Anyways, congratulations, Seek, you're this week's puzzle giveaway winner. I'll announce a new winner next week, and click right here to check out idol plays, and click right here for another awesome Survivor video.